Hey everyone, my name is Danilo Petrovic.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, GTL family. Ben's back, JG's back. We're doing a little special edition this time. I know it's been called for by a few of the fans out there. Want our predictions for 2021. But first off, how are you, JG, today? You all right?
Mate, I'm very well. I think you're underplaying it, if anything. It's a very big show we've got in store today. As Ben said, we're going through our 2021 predictions. So we'll have our top 10 for the men's side, the women's side, and then we'll also, it's a bit of a punt in the dark, really, for both of these, to be fair, and then just give our Grand Slam winners for both sides as well, the ATP and WTA. But like I said, it's very difficult, really, to predict. Like, anything can happen. I think more so with the WTA, we found when we was doing our Grand Slam selections, there's a bit up in the air in terms of, it's just so, what's the word, just unpredictable. Yeah,
massively, mate. I totally agree. I mean, and especially we don't know what type of year we're going to have. Are we going to have another year of people dropping out? Are we going to have another like weird year? Or are we going to get some real like consistent tennis and people actually traveling to tournaments again? Because that's all we really want, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. And it's not just that, also the rankings, how they're going to come into play. I know you was reading up earlier about how the rankings are working this year. You were showing me some stream. And it's fascinating to sort of work out how the points is going to come into play this year.
Yeah, it's a bit of
and how that's going to affect things. Obviously, Federer's coming up. Where is he going to sort of tie into the top 10? Is he going to be finishing in the top 10 this year? There's a lot of big questions ready to be asked.
Exactly.
But yeah, we're going to get into all of that in the video. Let's go through some of the comments. We've got Olivier here. How we doing, mate? Obviously, Mr. Thomas Rock as well. And he's saying, congrats on the GTL sponsor.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I just noticed there, he's if you want to bring up his other comment, he said he's got the GTL theme song on full blast in the car, which is great to hear. Why not, mate? I like to listen to a lot of my podcasts in the car as well. So yeah, that's what better place.
It's the privacy of it, isn't it? It's nice.
Hopefully the mixing was good enough on the track to make it come through good on the speakers. Anyway, thanks for bringing it up. Big announcement, really. Got our first sponsor, JG, and it's thanks to everybody, all you guys, for giving us the support and helping the channel grow. And we've obviously got approached by BetUS to sponsor the channel. So fantastic news. So we'll be be giving our predictions, but we'll also be going through some of the odds of the players as well now, just so that you can see, and we'll be offering you some actual really good deals through BetUS as well, through promo codes that they give to us, which is amazing. I mean, couldn't ask for anything more. So we're really grateful to BetUS.
Yeah, certainly for you guys who actually like gambling. I know it's not for everyone, so don't feel any pressure, but for those who do enjoy gambling, it's pretty good because I don't think you get bonuses like you do on BetUS, 125%. Bonus, and with our code, if you use Game to Love, you'll be able to get that in just the sports side of it. So not just the casino, which is like a handy extra bonus for you guys who love your tennis betting, I guess. And if you want to join that, you can join in the description. We've got it on our link tree. Just have a look there. I think we've got like the Apple and something Spotify podcast next to it, but you'll be able to find it. Sign up, and good luck.
Yeah, indeed. We'll be coming to you probably each week now, like when giving you a few of the odds on the matches we're predicting, just to tie in with the new sponsor, which would be great.
Mate, based off your bracket league, I don't think they'll be listening to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to me about them.
my picks are
not even me. Listen to Big Al. Big Al always does well. Jax as well. Jax is quite good. Bit of bunk hoots. Yeah. And talking about bunk hoots, we've also added him onto the top tippers. Apologies, mate. I know you was trying to get on there. And you did actually send a tip, which we didn't see because it was on one of the other accounts we don't use anymore. But it's all been reconciled now. Thanks for that. And we added an extra place for you as well. So we've got number 5 now. Obviously, Thomas Rock there leading the way. We've got Chris Meir, number 2. Jordan Sun to 3. Ken Lee, 4th. Bunk Hoots, number 5. And talking about Ken Lee, he's in the chat and he's saying, if Rafa doesn't end up number 1, I'll know it's Ben. Well,
Well,
you don't have to worry about that because we're both doing them.
yes, this is right. It's just there's not going to be any disagreements in our views on our predictions, and you won't be able to just jump on both of our backs. You can just jump on my back instead, and
Or
then
mine.
or JG's potentially. So yeah, we
When you say no disagreements, there will probably be disagreements with you and us, but just not
yeah.
between me and Ben because we've got our own. We're very independent with our predictions, and some of them are quite similar, but others were, I don't know, complete other side of the spectrum, really.
Mate, I've had to go a bit crazy on a few of these predictions, but it wouldn't be right without going a little bit crazy. I don't think. I think you've got to go big or go home. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy climate, and we saw some players thrived in it in 2020, and it could be a similar thing in 2021. So we could be seeing the similar sort of player doing well, like Aslan Karatsev. Obviously, he was one of the standout players of last year, and he thrived in all of this terrible climate. So players like that could be going up the leaderboard. It's going to be really interesting. I'd love to do a top 50, but I don't think we've got time.
I wouldn't. Not for the women's as well. That's just crazy. We've got Jagger there saying Zverev, he should be number one. He's a big Zverev fan. But yeah, just wait for it. I think we'll probably get into it now, Ben, if you want. We've got Jordan here. Hello, lads. Mary's here as well.
Hey.
Almino. How we doing, guys? Good. Thank you for joining us on this special podcast. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into our predictions.
Exactly.
So here we are. GTL predictions 2021.
I want to say thanks to JG for preparing this for us because he's been working very hard. Well, it's not. Yeah, it's nice, mate. While I've been doing my decorating, and he's made up this whole thing for us. So yeah, we got him to thank for this nicely presented piece of work here. So yeah, without further ado, mate, should we? I think we're going back to front, are we? 10, 9, 8.
More, is it? I think we're doing the men's first. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. I do have I wasn't sure if I had a little space in between. So here we are, ATP top 10 rankings for 2021. And we're starting with number 10 first.
Number 10.
Before we get into it, let us know, guys, who do you think is your top 10 for the year 2021? Obviously, the all-important number one. Who do we have to be there? Could be a bit controversial, I feel.
Could be, might not be. Yeah, let's have a look. Anyway, so we're starting in 10, isn't it? So number 10 here, quite an interesting one here. We got Yannick Sinner in there from JG, and I'm going a bit. This is where I said it goes a little bit crazy, and I'm going a bit outside the box. Ugo Humbert to make it inside the top 10 in 2021. What do you think of that?
Do you want to talk about yours first? Because I'll give my little overview of yours. Ugo Humbert, I think it's a big ask. I don't know. I feel like, where is he now in the rankings? 30th or so? I
think he's about I think he's around about the 30 mark.
Behind him, actually, maybe. So maybe mine's more out there than yours, if anything.
I mean, well, everybody's on the Sinner bandwagon, but not so many people on the Humbert bandwagon, considering he beat Tsitsipas. He won in Antwerp as well, beat Alex de Minaur, who's obviously around the 20 mark. Yeah, looks really good at the end of last year, and I think if he continues in that vein of form, he could be up there with the Yannick Sinner, pushing it.
You mentioned Alex de Minaur. He was someone who I was very close to putting there. I had a few. I was thinking maybe him. I think even maybe a Dimitrov as well. I don't know. He can perform. He's got experience on the tour. He could have a special year this year. I wouldn't be that shocked seeing a Dimitrov there. But I opted for Yannick Sinner, maybe following my heart more than anything. I just really believe in the guy. And I feel like if he can have an injury-free season and we have a season where there's not too many cancellations and stuff and he gets some rhythm going, I think he's super dangerous. He can do it on most surfaces too. So that's why I give him the number 10 spot. And I'm cheering him on all the way.
But don't forget, these two players both won an ATP event at the back end of 2020. So surely they're going to be coming into 2021 in a crazy form. And what better way to end their year and then move on into the new year? Both so young. Obviously, Sinner younger than Humbert, but he seems like he's the older one. Just crazy.
Exactly that. Mary, they're saying nice design. Thanks, Mary.
Getting a bit. That's it. See, nice to have a bit of good words from your work.
Well,
It's
Ben
good.
for a change. And here we go. Amino saying, I want to say Sinner, but maybe a bit premature. And Oliver, I prefer Sinner, but Umber plays very well. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Marie saying, I can see it happening for Sinner. I think it's still, even though I've put it there, I still think it's a big ask, but I've just gone for it. You know, you've got to make, it's all a bit of a potluck, this, I feel.
Almino
I
saying,
don't know how right we're going to be, to be honest.
Almino there. You want to bring his comment up?
Almino, yeah. Wawrenka or Goffin for number 10. Comeback year.
Oh, I guess, but I do not rule out either of those. I think Goffin more so than even Wawrinka. If he can just get back, get back. He looked pretty good in the last tournament. Obviously lost to ADM, but I think he looked good. It's a good sign. Good signs. Right, let's get on.
COVID, didn't he, the year before? Yeah, so
he did. He had COVID.
No, it might take him a bit longer. But let's get on to our number 9.
Number 9. JG's gone with the Schwartz. Number 9. I've gone Yannick Sinner 1 higher than you for Yannick Sinner. I reckon he's getting inside. Not just, he's going one even more inside. Similar reasons to your picking, really, but you're going to Schwartz to stay in there again.
It's going to be really tricky for him to stay in there. I just think his attitude is just kind of unrivaled. I was very close to maybe even putting like an Agut somewhere inside the top 10, like a 9th position or something. Ooh. I was very tied. I just went with Schwartzman purely because he's proven last year how good he can be. My only downside with it is the fact that when he comes up against these big servers, like the Zverevs, the big powerful players, he sort of comes up a bit short. However, saying that, the clay court swing, I expect him to really dominate, to be honest. There's not many players who can beat him. You could say a Dominic team, but even then, we saw that epic 5th set last year where Schwartzman managed to overcome him. And I can see maybe a similar thing happening again because he's a real match player and he knows how to win a match, I feel.
Grinder.
Especially, grinding. On clay as well, formidable player. And I'm just a massive fan of him. I love him. I love the guy. I think he's amazing.
Oh, he is. He's a little cheeky chappy on the tour. Always got a smile on his face as well, and that's what you want to see from tennis players. He looks like he loves it. Never seen somebody. He has more tape than Rafa on those fingers as well when he's playing. So they've probably
got Oliver saying I see Schwartzman even higher.
Wow. So should we move on? We're going to be. Don't think we can spend too long on each one. We've got quite a few to get through. Well, this one might cause a bit of a ruffle a few feathers, I think, from my side here. You've gone with Andre Rublev. Yeah, I think it's a wise choice. Andre Rublev, number 8 there. It's in and around the same number as this year, where he finished. Was he 7 or 8? I think he was 7, wasn't he?
Let me just check.
Oh, 8. He was 8 because Schwartzman was 9 when he got into the ATP finals, wasn't he? I believe that's the right way around, wasn't it? Or it was either one way or the other.
Sorry, it's just coming up. I don't know what's happened to my computer. It's just gone off.
Oh no, not great, but yeah.
Section, but I think he was 8th. Yeah, you're right. So Rublev, he was 8th last year. Yeah. I see him keeping that spot. It would be nice to say he maybe pushes on a little bit, but I think he had such an incredible year last year. If he can match that again this year, I think that's still an amazing. That's like an incredible achievement. He's got a lot of tournaments to defend this year. It's going to be trickier with that man on his right next to him because I feel like some of the tournaments he won, they're Roger Federer's bread and butter. So whether we could see a few interesting battles between these two next year, is to be told because I think we will. And I think Federer could take a few from him. So that's why I'm putting him in 8th. I don't see him really pushing on further than that.
Yeah, the only reason that I've put Federer down in 8th, which is pains me. I love Federer. It's just this injury thing which is going on at the moment. I'm not sure with the new rankings how protected he will be. He's obviously now he's not playing the Australian Open, is he? So, and it's just I'm worried for him a little bit, and that's my real thing. Why I've put him here is I don't know how much tennis he's going to play. And I think he will still do well in the stuff he does play, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep him up high in the rankings. And that's the sad. That's all. That's the only reason.
I
Not
was going based on the fact that I think he is going to play a bit more than you anticipate he is going to be. And I feel like we both agree that if he is going to be in the tournament, you can't write him off.
no, definitely
People
not.
can say about his age or how he's going to come back from this injury. It's just he's a bit different. I feel he's just a different case to all the other players on tour, and I just feel like he's going to be able to adapt and overcome. Maybe that's just me wanting it more than anything.
Yeah,
but yeah, let's see how that one unfolds.
It's all guesswork, really. At the end of the day, we can't. I'm not anticipating. I'm not wanting him to be injured. Bear in mind, he's going to be 40 this year, and coming back from injuries doesn't get any easier. So I'm hoping.
With what Amino says. Oh, sorry, Ben.
Go on, then. I was going to say I hope that I'm wrong on that one.
And Almino saying Rublev too much to defend, and that's kind of what I was going with, that kind of thing. I don't see him getting further than 8 because he's just got so many different tournaments to defend.
Yeah, but he could be going further in Grand Slams this year. You never know, and that's the thing. Like the key, the growth of Andrei Rublev we might see in 2021. Not guaranteed. We might see some semi-finals possibly. That's what I think. I'm not sure if he'll be in finals yet, but I reckon we might see some semi-finals from Andrei Rublev this year. So let's move on. It's going to take a while. This we're going to number 7. JG there with Alexander Zverev. I've gone with Stefanos Tsitsipas.
I think the ranking is going to be very key between these two in terms of how they get on against each other. I think we're going to see a lot of maybe quarterfinals or the round before quarterfinals. These two playing each other, and whoever's going to win more of them, we're going to see higher up in the rankings. And personally, I would see Tsitsipas beating Zverev a few more times than what I would say the other way around. I think history kind of gone that way. But Zverev did end the year very strong, and I was really impressed with him. So it's a bit of a tough one. I still fancy Zverev to get inside the top 10 very easily. And I've just put him number 7.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tsitsipas, he's solid. I see him winning some tournaments. I just think, like you were saying, well, you're going to see from my selections as we go through who's ahead of him. But with obviously Zverev, he had an incredible back end of the last year. Got to a Grand Slam final, was looking really great, even against like the likes of Schwartzman. He absolutely battered off the court, didn't he? And it was like people like that who are sort of around the same mark he's capable of beating, and he just sort of falls short, Zverev, sometimes. But I think he's going to change it. We'll get to my Zverev selection in a minute.
Yeah, anyway. I feel like we'll have to skip through some of them because we've been talking about it interchangeably on this one. Let's go on to number 6. And number 6, this is where Roger Federer comes in for me. I know Amino, he's gone for Fed at 6 as well, which is interesting. We've got the same. Jordan, they're saying, couldn't bring myself to put Fed lower than 5. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think he's going to be there and about. I think maybe 5 could be pushing it. But it depends how many he's going to play. But he's definitely going to be around there. So 6 for me. And there, an interesting one for me is Rublev. You've got Rublev in number 6.
Well, you know me, I'm Rublev fanboy after 2020, and I just think he's just shown a sign of things to come. And as I was saying on the previous selections, I think we could see him in some semi-finals this year in Grand Slams. And I think if he does that consistently, then he's going to have enough points to easily be up in that sort of top 6 bracket if he grabs a few tournaments as well. But bear in mind, he won an ATP 500 last year, so if he's doing that again, he's easily. I think he can do that easily, but consistent. Bear in mind, he won the most matches level with Djokovic last year. So if he does that,
he's struggling in the Grand Slams. The best of 5 setup, it's not really suited him so far.
That's why I think that he might improve this year. That's the reason for my picking. I think that he has to come of age at some point. I think it's going to be a gradual process. Not saying that he's going to win any Grand Slams next year, but you get a little bit closer each time. You see him grow. See the growth of Rublev, I think, over the next 2 to 3 years.
Do you know what would be a really good match next year or this year? Roger Federer, Rublev. I think that would be a really interesting matchup. To see how that would fare.
Didn't Rublev win their last one as well?
Yeah, I think he did. He beat him.
Yeah, I believe so.
yeah, just
Could be a
move on to number five.
changing of the guard, maybe. Yeah. So yeah, let's have a little look through Thomas Rock there. Just sorry before we move on. Dudy Seller returns to the top 200. Wow, big shout. We're not going that far down, unfortunately, Tom.
Are you on the Duty Stellars tonight, Ben?
Mate, I'm not. I'm on the Holston Pills tonight. It's a bit of an interesting one, isn't it? But I thought I would change it up a little bit.
Oh, it's a bit dodgy, isn't it?
Holston Pills, mate. It's a bit of an old school brand, that one. 1879.
Gosh.
So here we go. We go into number 5. And this is where we sort of swapped around from the other one.
Yeah. I've got Federer in between these two, and you've got him outside of it. But then we've switched our number 7 and 5. I see Tsitsipas doing slightly better than Zverev. I think in the Grand Slams, I can see him progressing. We saw how close he come in. Was it the French Open against Djokovic? That was the semis or the quarterfinals. He come very close and almost come back from 2 sets down. Yeah. So let's see what Tsitsipas can do. He did choke a few times, which is my big worry. Yeah. But without them chokes, he was the man really to beat in some of the tournaments, and he was playing some of the best tennis in the lead up. It's just his consistency. We know how many times he can shank the ball in the match. We know all the stuff with his dad in the crowd. It's a bit dramatic, the guy. And he does wind me up. He's a really infuriating person to be a fan of. However, if you look at his armory, he's dangerous as hell. And I think he can really push on and beat most players on the tour if he's firing with relative ease.
He can. He's got all the flair, isn't he? He's a flair player. Everyone that loves watching Stefanos on court. And there's something about Zverev, though, for me, with more consistency in the tournaments in the back end of last year that maybe...
Well, Grand Slam finalist as well. Could he go one more and win a Grand Slam?
This is it. And this is what I think. He showed a level of maturity, considering he had a lot of off-court antics going on last year, to win 2 Cologne titles back-to-back. He got to the final of the US Open. He gave a good account of himself, got to the final of the Paris Masters, and he didn't do too badly in the finals, ATP final.
I thought it was poor. I thought it was poor.
Bit, but he still was there, and he could have been better. I'm not going to lie, he could have been better there. But I think, excuse him that performance, the other performances he put forward for himself, I think I was pretty impressed, considering his mind might not have been in the tennis space really. So if he gets his mind back in, his name's not plastered over the back pages of newspapers, I think he could go even further, one step further maybe. Yep. Surely, isn't he? Well, these are 2 such young players as well. Like Tsitsipas is what, 22, is he? And then Zverev, I think 23, 24. So young, both of them anyway. So it's just going to be interesting to see how both of those get on in 2021. Right.
Yeah, out to Jordan there for the tip. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
I think you will be... Oh, no, you're staying there. Sorry, I thought you was moving to number 2. But you're not. You're still in number 3. In the top 10, though. That's good. Top 5, even.
That's it.
And talking about the top 5, let's get into our top 5.
Number 4.
Let's go with number 4, yeah.
Oh, we both got the same man there. Daniel Medvedev. Interesting, though. Interesting for Daniel Medvedev.
I must admit, I think me and Almino have got the same throughout. He had Stefanos at 5. He's got Medvedev at 4.
You've been speaking to him outside the podcast
before. Bit dodgy, isn't it?
I know.
Medvedev, he has all the potential. Like, he's, for me, top 5 is kind of nailed on. I think he's that good. It just depends how he deals with the Grand Slams this year. And will he live up to it and actually win some? Because he's definitely got the game to. And you could say he was a little bit disappointed in him last year, especially his play form. I think that is a big disappointing side. To have someone inside the top 10 who's just not very good on clay. And he's never won a match. Never won a match at Roland Garros. Yeah. Which is just appalling, to be honest, for someone of his ilk. So if he can improve that, he could easily get higher than 4th. But I'm just going to stick with 4th based on the fact that, well, we'll find out later in the video. I think we'll see a bit of a surprise there with him. Yeah,
we'll obviously be giving, after we've done our top 10 predictions, we'll be giving our Grand Slam winner predictions, we think, for 2021. So we're not going to go too in depth on why they're in their positions, because you might see why a little bit later. But yeah, similar to you, I think at the back end of last year looked incredible, looked like world number one potential at the end of 2020, winning that ATP finals with relative ease. Really, I think he looked unbeatable. Paris Masters and that, I bet he wished the season didn't finish.
Well,
So,
the way he beat Nadal and then team, wasn't it? It was just remarkable.
yeah, he's just incredible.
He beat Djokovic, didn't he, as well? In the
Yeah.
group? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Just didn't lose a match, did it? And considering the time before, he lost all of his matches in the ATP finals, and then he just went unbeaten. So, he's there for that reason anyway. Let's move to number 3. Ooh, this is where Ken Lee jumps on me.
Yeah, and this is actually a disgrace, Ben. I'm glad we're bringing this up on the podcast. I've saved my slander for you. When you submitted yours, I said to you, Ben, give me your top 10 for the men and the women. I saw him. I had to look down the list twice. I was like, has he made a mistake? Is that right? I then told you to check the thing, and you was like, yeah, all's good, all's fine.
Oh, Almino.
What is wrong with you? Almino is also got Nadal 3 as well.
Thank you.
So you've got someone agreeing with you, but I know where you're going to come with your argument with this before you even say it. But why are you dismissing the fact that at the end of the day, the two main players on tour are Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal? Teams kind of breaking that little barrier slightly. But is he there to be over? Like, what gives you the what? Why do you what?
It's getting too worked up.
Warrants Dominic Thiem to be higher than Rafael Nadal?
He's lost his cool on the podcast. He is outraged.
No, I'm losing my words. I'm trying to get to grips with what your thinking is. But go for it. Go on.
You're trying to not get into too much of a rage. I can see it inside. It's bubbling up. You know, the Rafa hat's going to be thrown at the camera. Yeah. Anyway. My personal opinion for this, I think Rafael Nadal had a great year last year. He didn't play that much tennis, but he still had a great year in 2020. For me, I've said it at the back end of last year. I said it for a lot of last year. I can see Dominic Thiem. He just had to break his duck of getting that Grand Slam, and I see him. He just looks so good. He beat Rafael Nadal in the ATP Tour Finals as well. He runs him close every time he plays him. He probably beats him on hard court every time he plays him, I'd say, from now on. And I think the same for Novak Djokovic. There's more hard court tournaments there are around, than there are clay court tournaments. And I think that, I'm not going to say on grass, because I don't know Dominic Thiem. I can't really call Dominic Thiem on grass yet. But I just see Dominic Thiem winning more tournaments next year. And that's the reason for where you're going to see Dominic Thiem being above Rafael Nadal for me.
These two have played each other quite a bit recently, and you've seen how epic the matches have been. I think every single set has been a tie break, and not all of have all of them. I feel like there's been a lot of tie breaks, and Dominic Thiem's won a lot of tie breaks against Rafael Nadal in recent years. Obviously, most notably it was the Nitto Championships, and the one before that was it the US Open?
Australian
Open, yeah. So I understand what you're saying. I just think Dominic Thiem did have an element of fortune in a lot of them sort of very close matches. Obviously, he had to do what he had to do. I think on another day, I think Rafael Nadal's going to have a massive point to prove this year. He's gonna come on tour hungrier than ever. With an actual bit of consistency. He's someone who loves the consistency of playing regular tournaments. Last year probably disrupted him more than most, I feel. I feel like a Federer or a Djokovic they can deal with the disruption in play a lot better than what Rafael Nadal can. He's a very intense player, and I think he needs consistent run of matches to sort of get there. We saw it when he first come back in Rome. He lost to Schwartzman. And with that, I'm hoping that we're going to get that this year. And on that basis, I think we're going to see him fly. Because if you look at his ability, I hate to keep saying it, but there's only two people right now in the world on current level who can play at that level. And that is Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. I think Thiem can do it in spells. I just don't think he's not got that little edge yet. He can. I know he can win events. And I know he won a Grand Slam last year, but would he have won that Grand Slam if say Novak Djokovic wasn't defaulted, or if Rafael Nadal was in the tournament?
Hard to say, isn't it? But if I've got
Federer wasn't injured.
I don't think Rafa Nadal would have caused him problems because it was a hard court and he beat him in Australia. I think Novak Djokovic would have been the only one that he may have had the problems against. Obviously, he was just super nervous. He had the Andy Murray bug. That's all I'm going to say. He's trying to get that first Grand Slam, and you saw how long it took Murray to get that first Grand Slam, and it was painful to watch at times, him lose time and time again. But when he got it, the Murray changed, and you saw that level of confidence went up. And I think I've seen that in team, and his gameplay he played after that. Fair enough, he had a little slip up against Rublev in was it Vienna, but maybe he had actually had some foot problem. But after that, you saw some of the tennis he played when those two played each other in the Nitto finals, and team looks for me like a future. And I know Angel Castle kept going on about it religiously. The next world number one.
Championship, yeah. When he played against Rafael Nadal, you can't say there was really. You can't say that team
that close.
Yeah, okay.
But the big points, the similar as the Australian Open, team has now got another level, and that's what we always said about the big three. They go another level. When you get to the big points, there's like a step that goes up, and then they can go again, and then they can go again. And he has that now.
An element of mental fragility.
Yeah, there is.
And that little element of mental fragility with a Rafael Nadal who's playing the whole season and has got more of his routine, who's done it so many times before, and a Novak Djokovic as well to add. Yeah. I think that's where you're going to see the difference between. You'll see that little gap still there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be even tighter. Maybe that's when it could be the big change on the guards. Maybe right now, not for me. And I'm going to stick with that. And I think Rafa, this year, we're going to see something really special from him. Maybe it's my heart going nuts. I just think we're going to see a Rafael Nadal year to remember forever this year.
Well, remember the one thing with Rafael Nadal as well. He's now level with Roger Federer. So this is now his chance to go ahead.
Exactly.
So if he's got anything in his mind, it is this year. This is the year he becomes top of the pile for Grand Slam titles. So he's going to be going all out. So I do not doubt that Rafael Nadal is going to have a good year. I just think Dominic Thiem might have a better one.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Number 2.
And this is where JG can take some stick instead. Right. Go on. What? You want me to go first? I've just given my core. Well, I've pretty much spoken up.
Yeah, you've done this one, to be fair. So let me just speak about Novak Djokovic, number 2. I see it very close between Nadal. I just think with Nadal, the big difference between these two is Nadal has a set Grand Slam, which he's going to win next year, in my opinion. I see Nadal winning Roland Garros quite comfortably, the French Open. With Djokovic, you could say he's got the Australian Open or Wimbledon or even the US Open. However, I think there's going to be a lot of people in the mix for them tournaments. Whereas Roland Garros, there's really only one man in the mix. If anything, maybe Dominic Thiem, if everything's going amazing. And that on that basis, that's what I'm going for. And I think the Australian Open is going to be very difficult for Novak to win this year. I think Wimbledon's going to be super difficult for him to win this year. Although he could arguably be the favourite for both of them, I think it's going to be tricky still. So that basis, I am going to be putting in world number 2. I think he's going to still have a fantastic year. He's still going to blow away most of the tour. Probably add to a few more Masters titles and the Grand Slam count as well. But let's just see how it goes for him. I just don't think he's going to be able to pip the King of Clay. And for me, the overall greatest of all time.
Yeah, exactly. So, for those who are just listening as well, so JG has Novak Djokovic as number 2, and I have Dominic Thiem as my number 2 at the end of 2021. And number 1, that obviously only leaves us with 2 people left. And I've gone for...
There he is. Novak. I thought you was going
Novak.
to throw in a surprise, Ben. Have like Gao Monfils or something.
Yeah, Novak not even in the top 10. Just that would have been a turn up for the books. I have some random person in there, but no, I do have the main man from Serbia, Novak Djokovic. I think that he is going to be. I don't know. I just think he's going to be more fired up this year. He
Was
had
he
that
not
long
last year?
He had a long unbeaten run, but there was something that really just like it just disrupted his year, the whole thing. And I don't think, and obviously he had the default. Then he won the Masters, didn't he, in Paris? Got to the final in Roland Garros, which is still a great achievement. But still, there was just something at the back end of the year. It's just like he didn't really care, really didn't really want to win. He just wanted end of year world number one, which is fair enough because that's sort of where I'm predicting him to go at the back end of next year. But I think he's got a Grand Slam in him, maybe one, maybe two next year. And he's just the guy to beat. If he goes into a tournament, any hardcourt tournament especially, I think he wins it. And it just takes such an amazing performance. And it's only really the big three, maybe give or take maybe one or two of the others that can beat him. And it's so hard for them to beat him. I think he's just that good. He's going to be fired up this year. He's dropped behind now. Don't forget, he's still on 17. Needs 3 Grand Slams to get it level pegging. So he's going to be playing catch up. And don't be surprised if you see a fired up Novak Djokovic in 2021.
Yeah, I think that's a good summary, Ben. To be fair, it's going to be tight. I'm by no means saying Rafa or the Nadal's going to walk it. It's going to be really close between these two for me. It's hard to say which way it's going to go. I'm just edging towards Rafa Nadal on the fact that he's got that Grand Slam on lock, the French Open.
Yeah. It's a bit after last year. It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
And I'm fancying him to maybe cause an upset in another one, which not many people will be able to predict. That's for sure. But anyway, let's go on to the women's. We've been talking long enough about the men's.
Yeah,
so let's go for our WTA top 10 ranking for 2021.
Let's see.
And you thought the men's was hard. This is even tougher.
Yeah, mate. This one had us really scratching our heads just of how we think the season's going to go, who we think's going to be getting to finals of Grand Slams, who's going to be winning Grand Slams or Masters events, like that type of thing. Thinking who's going to be playing tournaments as well. Which tournaments are people going to be playing? So yeah, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, sorry, Ben.
Yeah, I was going to say, let us know in the comments your top 10 for WTA as well, because it's always interesting to see who you guys have got as well.
Yeah, Jordan, they're saying, got the same top 4 as JG. Great minds think alike. That's nice.
These Rafa fans. So.
And Mary there, she's gone for Djokovic 1, Medvedev 2, Team 3, Tsitsipas 4, Nadal 5th. Wow.
Love it.
PCB probably, Pablo Carreño Buster, Sappho, Zverev, Ruby, and Garin. Fair enough. Some interesting selections there, and all good players.
I like that. Just mix it up. Mix it up a bit. Why not?
And yeah, this women's going to be tough. Just want to say before we go on to it, if you're liking the video, please leave us a like. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Hopefully, our aim is to try and get to 3,000 subscribers before Australian Open.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Yeah, we can only get there with you guys. So please.
Here we go. So Almino's saying no idea, but with WTA, but Barty to stay number 1. I think she only played like one tournament last year or something, an Australian Open, and then it was like lockdown. But let's have a look. Number 10 for WTA, and we got JG with Serena Williams, and I'm going with Maria Sakkari coming in at number 10 there.
It's a tough one. Serena's coming in of her career, no doubt. I still think, regardless of that, she has enough fire in her and enough talent to be able to pull off the odd event here and there. She's got experience, obviously, arguably the greatest ever tennis player, women's tennis player to play the game. I generally think she will have enough to sort of push on from last year. Last year was very turbulent, obviously having young kids as well, maybe threw her off a little bit. But I think this year we're going to see maybe a bit more of a consistent Serena Williams. And even last year, she was still able to pull off some really good results here and there. Yep. So on that basis, I think she's like, 15th in the world at the moment? Or just
she's up there,
between 10 and 20, somewhere like that. And I think this year she's going to just make the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I totally get it. She wouldn't be consensus the greatest of all time for no reason, would she? So yeah, I see where you come from. If she makes a run and wins a Grand Slam again, there's no reason not to have her there. But I've not got her there. I've gone with Maria Sakkari because I'm seeing sort of a change in the guard in a few of the women on tour. Sakkari's been one that really impresses me. I think she's been getting gradually better each tournament.
I think you're just scared of her.
Yeah, I am. Well, look at that picture. I'm not surprised, but I'd be scared of either of them, to be honest, looking at both of those pictures. If Serena was to kick me with one of those legs, I think I'd probably go across the room. She looks like she's got some good muscles in those legs. And I think if you took a 1-2 punch from Sakkari, she'd probably, knock you out, mate. So Sakkari, though, she's got full-on power. I love her on the clay courts, and I actually am warming to her more on hard court these days as well. I think she's really improved her hard court game. So I don't think she's going to be winning as many tournaments, but I think we could see her at the latter stage of a lot of tournaments.
Well, let's see how she gets on with the Grand Slams. I think that'll be key. I've not really done much so far, but she's definitely got the ability to.
Exactly. So let's move through. Number 9. JG going with Rybakina. I'm going with Elise Mertens.
I actually like both of these players a lot. Mertens doesn't make my top 10. Rybakina does. Massive fan of her. Obviously, she played Sabalenka recently. Lost in 3 sets, but was very close. Third set as well. It was all close. I think there was only a break of serve in each set. Certainly got bags of potential. Only 20 years old or 21.
Yeah.
So only going to be getting better and better. For me, I think we're going to see her win some tournaments this year where people don't expect her to win.
Yeah, I mean, you'll find out from me where Rybakina stands as we go through, but she's not a number 9. I actually rate her a bit more than number 9, so you'll see where. Elise Mertens, for me, she's finished the year very well. She was one of the strongest women on the tour back end of last year. She's just super consistent. That's why she's in there for me. Not going to go into too much detail on that one. Number 8, JG's gone with Iga Swiatek there. And I've gone with Simona Halep at number 8. So
do we even have to say too much about Iga Swiatek last year? Unbelievable. One of probably the standout performances of the year at Roland Garros. Thought she was amazing that whole tournament. Obviously very young as well. That's why you're not going to, for me, see her in the top 5. I think she's going to take a while to progress to that. But certainly got the game just super powerful. Her forehand's just crazy. Whole game is, to be fair. She needs consistency with her second serve. But if she can do that, honestly, she's got a great coach, good team and family around her. So I think she's going to do really well this year. And 8th would be a brilliant start. Well,
I think it definitely would be a brilliant start. I think she's definitely going to improve on last year. It's going to be tough, obviously, with Grand Slam, but I think all of her other tournaments are going to pick up as well. I can see why you've got her there at number 8. I think that she's going to have a very good year. She's going to have a lot more confidence this year after last year's French Open win. For me, Simona Halep, obviously she was having a great run.
Halep 8th, how dare you? So claim that.
I know. I thought I was going to cause a little bit of a stir. But for me, Halep was having an absolutely amazing run when she came back last year, but then it was halted by Swiatek, wasn't it? And she absolutely battered her in that French Open in sort of I believe it was a reverse result of the year before, whereas I think she beat Swiatek 6-1, 6-2 or something like that, and then she reversed the result on her and absolutely destroyed her. So don't forget, Halep's not a spring chicken. She's one of the more seasoned professionals on the tour, so she's got a lot of. She still has a lot in her
favour, though. For me,
well, I think that for me, on grass, I think she's more scary. That's where I personally see her being more scary this year. We obviously didn't have grass last year, so this year we might see her back on the grass again, which is what I'm really hyped for. But I'm not so sure on the clay now. I think now Swiatek's on the scene. If they cross paths again, I think Swiatek will batter her again. If I want to see Swiatek in that same form. Yeah, on to 7.
We're definitely taking far too long on this. But yeah, we've both gone for Ashley Barty here. Obviously, she's the world number 1 now.
Yeah.
Let's just see how she gets on. She's coming back from her injury. I think she's a top player. I just think she's not going to really surpass number 7. I don't know how to really word that in a nicer way.
Well, for me, it's all dependent on how many tournaments she can get to play. Is she going to be able to leave Australia to go and play tournaments? And last year, she obviously refused to travel to a lot of tournaments. This year, is she going to be the same? Because she's going to see some. My reason for this is: are we going to see some points dropping off of Ashley Barty's record? And then she's going to be dropping down. Maybe she won't be able to play more tournaments. She's going to drop down a bit more. I think she'll still win tournaments if she plays them. It just depends on how many tournaments she's going to play. So I think that she's still. I haven't seen her play as well. This is another reason for it. Is she still the same?
She's a ridiculously good tennis player. And there's no reason she could be higher based off her pure talent alone.
Yeah, is she still the same?
I'm not sure how many tournaments she's going to be playing. It's a tough one, really, to rate someone I'm not seen for a while.
Well,
Australian Open. Before that, she was always great, but I think there's still an element of something to prove there. But anyway, let's get on to number 6.
Well, exactly. Remember, Australian Open though, she obviously lost to Kenin last year. So is that going to be the same Ashley Barty that we see in the future now? Is people going to be, or are people going to be beating her easier? I don't know. So here we go. Number 6. And JG's gone with Victoria Azarenka. And I have gone with Elena Rybakina at number 6. See how it changes. What do you reckon?
2020, a crazy good player. She was playing so many tournaments and she was just, I don't know, she was playing so many irregularly. She was going from the US Open onto the clay with literally a day's break. And then she was winning as well. Obviously, such an experienced player. I just think we're going to see a big year from her, and just going to continue the same style as last year.
For me, 2020 was more of an anomaly from Azarenka. I think now the Belarusian to watch out for is her countrywoman Sabalenka, who obviously I think she's taken on the torch now for Belarus, and I think Azarenka may fall away, and the spotlight will now sit on the young gun, not Azarenka, Sabalenka. They're too similar, the names. Yeah, anyway, so I've got Rybakina. We spoke a lot about her. Reached, I believe, 5 or 6 finals in 2020. Didn't win, only won 1 final. I think she's going to win a lot more this year, and that's why she's at number 6. Number 5, we've both gone for Bianca Andreescu. So,
before she got injured, she, for me, was my number 1 tennis player on the women's side. I thought she was the most impressive to watch, the most consistent, seemed fearless as well. The US Open final, watching her against Serena Williams, beating Serena Williams, who was playing a lot better than what she is right now, was just amazing to see. Shot selection, everything about her. I thought she was just an amazing tennis player. However, coming back from an injury, we've not seen her for a while. How's she going to react? There's a lot of more exciting tennis players on tour now. Mentioned Sabalenka, the Azarenkas, the Sakas, all of these. I think it'll be an interesting battle between them. Maybe it might take her a year to get going again. Do you know what I mean? Just to kickstart the engine. So that's why I'm going for number 5.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, I'm the same as you. I'm hoping we see the same Andreescu that we saw win that US Open title, and I just want to see her back like that. We haven't seen her really properly since, and it's so sad. She's such a promising talent. Hopefully, when she's back to her best. So fingers crossed. Come on, Bianca. So number 4, JG with Simona Halep there. You're being a bit kinder to her, and I've gone with Arina Sabalenka at number 4. So
yeah, Halep for me, you had her 8, I believe.
Yeah,
I think she's a bit better than what you put her at there. I think she's an experienced head, and I see her doing. She's always going to be. I think she'll clear. She's going to go deep in a lot of tournaments. I see her reaching finals, semi-finals, not necessarily winning them all. I think there'll be players who can overpower her. And just the physicality of it all. But I just think Simona Halep has enough sort of her brain. She's very smart. She's an intelligent player. And I think that will get her out of trouble in a few matches. And I fancy her to finish 4th.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I had her at 8 was obviously every year that goes by, she gets a year older. All these young ones, like the one who I'm showing here, Sabalenka, will come to the forefront. I think Sabalenka, the way that she started the year is the way that she finished the last year. I think she's gonna have a great first half of 2021. I don't know what the back end of 2021. I don't know what a clay court's like or grass court. So I think she's going to be up there, but I don't know if it's going to be on every surface. That's all. So that's why she's number 4 for me.
So number 3,
Thomas Rock asking, it's good old Pliskova coming.
yeah, we've left her off this one. No Irani either.
Oh, mate, Iran is my number 1. What are you talking about? Right.
Anyway, number 3, we have, for me, I've gone for Sophia Kenin. Maybe people are a bit surprised with that. Maybe people put her a bit higher. Obviously, I don't even really know what to say about her. She's probably the most up-and-coming player on tour right now. She won the Australian Open last year, reached the final of Roland Garros as well.
More importantly, she won GTL Player of the Year last year. That's probably her biggest award.
She was our Player of the Year last year. Regardless of saying all of that, I just see her coming third. I think there's 2 players I've put in front of her who I think will beat her most times.
Yeah, and I've gone for Iga Swiatek. I think that just the way that she played last year, and just if she continues in that sort of form and she starts powering people off the court, I can't see many people being able to stand and trade with her. I'm hoping that's what the Swiatek we get. If we do,
I would love to see it. I think it's too high for her. She's
maybe,
just too young.
Maybe, but I'm a dreamer, JG. I'm a dreamer.
Anyway, let's go on to number 2.
Number two.
This is a bit of a surprise. I've actually gone for Sabalenka. I just think I get blown away every time I watch her. We're doing the watch along the other day, me and Ben, for the final. She just breezed past Kudermetova there, and yeah, just so good. I'd see her just carrying on, and it's just one of them where when Djokovic has gone on his winning streak, you just don't know when the next loss is going to come from. And Sabalenka's playing like that right now. You just watch, you think, can anyone beat her? Don't get me wrong, she's going to come unstuck eventually and going to lose a few matches. But right now, she's on hot form, and I see her just continuing that into the Australian Open, and maybe we'll find out later, doing very well there.
Yeah, well, I like the way that you've done the pictures as well. It looks like she's looking over at Naomi Osaka, just giving her a little smile as well. I don't know. And it looks like Osaka saying that she thinks she should have been number 4 by the looks of it. So I've put you at number 2, Naomi. So don't worry about that. I think that, she's so promising as well.
Wait, look at this from Jordan. This is a good one. Every year that goes by, she gets a year older. GTL Ben 2021. What a quote. That's a big quote there from Ben. Every year that goes by, she gets a year older.
Mate, we only hear true facts here on GTL. That's all you get. Real talk.
You sound like Tim Sherwood, the football pundit.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
The big one. Drum roll, please, Ben. Number 1 is...
There you go. And it's Naomi Osaka for JG. And for me, number 1 is going to be Sophia Kenin. So, explain
this was the easiest decision out of everything today, I would
really?
say. Yeah, I generally believe. I thought from 2 to 10, it was really hard. My number 1's Naomi Osaka. I really strongly feel like she's going to do it. The only downside is her injury. I forget exactly what it was. Is it a calf? I don't want to quote it. Just she's got a bad injury. I forget exactly where it is. And it does cause her quite a few niggles. I know she had to pull out of a few finals. She pulled out of a finals, pulled out of another event as well. And that is my big concern.
Is it hamstring, I think?
It might be hamstring. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the big one for me. I just don't want that to sort of hinder her. If it isn't, I just don't see anyone really beating her. I think she's just an amazing player, brilliant personality as well. Obviously, the highest paid women athlete, which is phenomenal. And I think she's going to follow that with a world number 1.
Well, why not?
Obviously, she was world number 1 a few years back. And I think she's just going to continue in that vein. We saw in the US Open, she was really good against Azarenka in the final.
Yeah. She was incredible in that final. She can replicate that type of form back on the hard courts again. Who's to say that she can't take 2 Grand Slams in 2021? But Yeah, for me, I had her at number 2. I think she's going to have a really good year, but I think Sophia Kenin, she showed the consistency over hard court and over clay court in 2020, and that's my reason for putting her there. I think that she can perform on all the surfaces. I'm yet to see her prove herself on the grass. I think she could still do it, though. To be honest, I think that
Yeah.
she could still be there in latter stage on grass.
I think it suits her really.
Yeah, I think so. And well, that for me, even if she doesn't win anything, she will still be there or thereabouts at the back end of tournaments all the way through the year, Sophia Kenin. So yeah, watch out. So yeah, that's our that's the top 10 for both ATP and WTA. Let us know in the comments if you agree with myself and JG on those.
Just going through Mary's there. She also had Osaka number 1, Kenin number 2, Savontek 3, Halep 4, Svitolina, someone we didn't have in either of our top 10, number 5, Azarenka 6, Barty 7, Sabalenka 8, 9, Sakari, and 10, Muchova.
Yeah, Muchova's a good one to have in there as well. Like somebody who deserves a lot of praise. Been very, very good, Muchova, in recent times. So
And Marie there saying that Sophia Kenin beat Serena on grass. So
this is it. We didn't have a Joanna Konta in there. Should maybe squeeze her in.
Personally, I think she's from 10 to 20, somewhere around in that little bracket. I'm not sure if she's top 10 right now.
Francesca Jones?
Not quite, but hopefully one day.
maybe one day.
Anyway, let's get on to the Grand Slam champions for 2021.
Ooh.
First, and then the women's. This, I feel like, is the most difficult because even doing them, I could probably change my mind right now, in fact. It's all in the moment. It all depends before the tournament, the lead up to tournaments. So they probably will. Are we allowed to change them in our previews prior to tournaments, or do we have to stick with these? I feel like we can. I think what we're gonna do is before a tournament, we're gonna just give our honest opinion on what we think. But right now, we're just gonna give just like an overall consensus. So don't take this too much as literal, because it's a very hard one to pick, I must admit. But anyway, without further ado, let's get on with it. So first Grand Slam of the year, obviously the Australian Open.
I just seen Almino's comment as well, and I'm going to go to the next slide, which is it's going to be Australian Open first, isn't it, for men's? And Almino's called how both our minds work by the looks of it, and he's gone and said med or team for the Aussie, and we're split. We've got JG.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you about this. Nitto Championships, I was saying, I really believe Medvedev is going to win the Australian Open. I'm thinking about it right now, and I still stand by that. The reason is the Australian Open has been done under a bit of a cloud. We obviously know what's happened with the player, Vasek Pospisil. I'm not sure if there's more who tested positive on the plane, meaning everyone now has to stay in their hotel room for 14 days.
Yeah.
Or I think it's like 70 players or so. That is going to have a massive effect on the tournament. And the repercussions of playing at such a high-level event after being trapped in your hotel room can't be the best practice for a big Grand Slam tournament. No. I know people can say, oh, they can't complain, they're getting paid loads of money. People in Australia aren't able to leave their houses either, or it's a lot stricter for them. They're not getting paid all these large amounts of money. That's beside the point for me. I think to be trapped in your hotel room, even if it's a 5-star hotel room, is tricky. It's mentally draining. It's tough.
Yeah.
And on that basis, I think who is someone who could deal with it the most? Dominic Thiem, for me, he's a workhorse in terms of someone who requires the most training out of anyone on tour. He loves training. That's taken away from him slightly right now.
A little bit, yeah.
Medvedev, I don't think I don't get that same vibe. I feel like he's more than happy on his PS4, playing some video games, and he'll do obviously all his fitness stuff. I'm not saying he's lazy or anything. I just don't think he will require that level of thing to get up to the top level. And on that basis, that's why I'm going for him to win the Australian Open.
Well, I'm going to counter devil's advocate. I'm going to counter your call saying that Dominic Thiem needs to have time to train. I think he does, but I think no matter where Dominic Thiem is, he will be working 24 hours a day. Even if he's in a small cupboard, he would be doing sit-ups, press-ups, running on the
cupboard, mate. You're not getting much tennis in.
Mate, he'll be
This is
practicing
not
his
a gym.
shots.
This is not world's strongest man. This is a tennis tournament.
He'll be practicing in his room. He'll probably have the largest suite that they have. He'll be whacking a tennis ball against the wall in the room. He'll be doing
That's
whatever
what
it takes.
Pablo Cuevas is doing. You seen that?
Yeah, exactly, mate. He'll be doing the same thing, except for he's higher up. He'll have a bigger suite. He'll have probably a tennis court in his room, maybe half a tennis court.
Stupid.
You never know. Anyway,
Anyway.
my reasoning for that one is Dominic Thiem. I've said it already. I think he's going to be up there. I think he's going to be number 2 by the end of the year. I think last year he was super unlucky in Australia. I think he loves it there. He should have won last year. Plain and simple. He should have won the Australian Open last year. He bottled it a bit. And this year, he's coming back as a Grand Slam champion. And this time, the nerves aren't going to be there. There's not going to probably not going to be a crowd to be nervous. He already won in front of nobody once. Why can't he do it again?
Wait, we saw these two in the ATP Finals 2020, not that long ago. The big major tennis what we saw on our screens.
Yeah.
Medvedev walked it against him. So
yeah,
I'm going to continue with that same thing.
Medvedev.
On to the next one. I'm going to drop the mic.
I like it. Yeah, right. Okay. So
Mary's
that was
guy there. JG, very good point. Thanks for that, Mary.
You are wrong, Ben. No. I'm playing devil's advocate. Obviously, Dominic Thiem does like to train, but I'm trying to find a way around JG's
Jordan,
argument.
they're saying Kyrgios will love this. 2 weeks of COD.
Is that a good bet?
Kyrgios in the top 10.
Well,
can he do it?
Kyrgios just needs like a couple of weeks in the hotel room with a few Stellas, I think. And that's his training anyway, done, isn't it?
Yeah, him.
Foster's, I think. That's what they have down there, isn't it? No, that's English. Anyway, French Open. Here we go. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Gone for Rafa.
Should we go on to the next tournament?
I think that's pretty self-explanatory. That's it.
What can we say? Rafael Nadal. I didn't even ask you for it. I just put it in for you because I thought you would say Rafael Nadal anyway. The guy just wins it every year. I feel like he'll be winning it till he's about 50 years old. He's just so good. He is ridiculously good. We saw him last year in the final. It was an amazing final, I must admit. Could we see a Schwartzman or a Dominic Thiem or a Djokovic get some revenge this year? No, not for me. I'm going to stick with that.
No, mate. After that last French Open, I can't pick anyone else. It was just literally the most crazy thing I've ever seen. He just blitzed everybody in straight sets and bageled Djokovic in the final. So that's my reasoning. Done. Next, Wimbledon. Here we go. You've gone for Rafa from Wimbledon.
So this is the big shock. It was really hard for me. My head saying I think Novak could win this tournament. I don't think not having Wimbledon last year. I think it's this tournament is not. We're not going to see like a new winner for it. I think it's going to be one of the more experienced heads. So that's either probably the Nadal, Djokovic, Federer, one of these guys. The reason I went for Rafael Nadal is, well,
What's the real reason? Come on.
No, the reason I went for him is I just think he's going to win it this year. I don't know. I don't have like an exact reason. I just think he's going to win it. I like I said earlier in the rankings, I think he's going to have a point to prove. He's obviously won the most Grand Slams now, so he's going to be hungrier than ever. He's probably going to play. The thing is, if he plays Djokovic in the final, I think he loses. That's the honest opinion. I'm hoping maybe a Federer can knock out Djokovic, and then I think Nadal will beat a Federer.
As Almino's saying, but well, Novak or Fed wishful thinking. I think Nadal wishful thinking maybe a little bit in this one as well. For me, the best grass court player on tour these days is Novak Djokovic. I don't think that there's any arguments about that. I had him to win as my 2020 winner. It got cancelled. I just transferred it over into 2021. And for me, I think he's the man to beat in Wimbledon. He's pretty much unstoppable on that grass. So it's going to take a very, very it's going to have to take something weird like the US Open when he got defaulted, or some weird occurrence like I'm
not so sure.
Yeah, but that's because you want Rafa to win it. That's why you're not so sure. You can't just be not sure because based upon your love for Rafa. That's not. That's not.
No, I think we're having a normal season this year. I'm hoping coronavirus is not going to play too much of an impact, so we're going to have a regular season.
Yeah.
And
So
I think
what happened?
regular season, I think Rafael Nadal.
What happened in the last regular season when there was a Wimbledon?
Yeah, well,
Djokovic won it. Yeah. All right. So let's carry on. Right. Next one. Drop the mic.
yeah, you can drop it.
Okay. US Open. Who have we got? Oh, sorry. I've clicked off because I clicked on Elmino's comment. There we go. And you've gone with Novak Djokovic to win the US Open. I've gone with Daniel Medvedev here. So we've mixed it up. And I noticed actually in the comments, I've actually got the exact same selection as Marie TL there. Team Nadal, Novak, and Medvedev, which is interesting.
Tight, isn't it? What 1, 2,
Great
3, 4 in
minds.
the world.
Great minds think alike, Marie. Great minds. So yeah,
Almino as well has gone for Med for the US Open. The reason I think Novak, I thought before he got defaulted, he was the one to beat this last year.
Yeah,
and he would have won it in my opinion. Obviously, we're going to be seeing most likely Federer and Nadal in it this year. I think Novak's going to win. It's hard to really give too many reasons. I'm finding it hard to sort of think all these reasons. I'm just going with what I think is going to happen. And right now, this could change. I think Novak's going to win the US Open. Wow. I think by this time, when does it start usually, US Open?
Well, it's normally around the end of August time.
I'm hoping there could be some fans in the stadium.
Wow.
So we'll have to see. And I think that's only going to benefit one man. I know in the US Open, everyone's cheering on Federer. However, I think that's all the motivation, the additional motivation Novak needs is the fans maybe to go against him or to be cheering Federer again at every single point. Novak's going to absolutely love that, and I think he's going to blitz the tournament from all the adrenaline of everyone else around him and the fans. But like I said, it's so hard to be doing these right now. I found it really difficult because it is tricky. I feel like my opinion will change.
Oh, this is one thing. That's your argument for there being fans there. Imagine if that is the final that we see those two players on the screen, both of them hated by the US crowd, which is Daniel Medvedev.
I don't know if it's hated. I think
no, I'm joking. I'm not saying hated, but I mean they both cause controversy in America. They both want the fans to boo them so that they can.
If this was the final, I think Djokovic would get a lot of cheering for him. People would probably there'd be more support for Djokovic than Medvedev, personally.
Well, guaranteed that before if this was the final, before they got to the final, one of these guys would have done something controversial that would have pissed off half of America. So someone's going to be getting booed when going into a final like that. But for me, the way that Medvedev starts the year normally, it's very slow. And then by the time he gets round to the back end of the year, it's normally when we see his best tennis. That's my reasoning for him winning the US Open.
Brilliant. Well, let's get on to the women's. Mary saying there, Australian Open Medvedev, French Open team, Wimbledon Djokovic, and US Open Med. So it doesn't have Rafa at all there.
Wow. Wow.
I think Mary's got Rafa to finish fifth, though. So
and Jordan saying, God, I love JG's loyalty to Rafa. Yeah, and thanks, Mary Sky. Good choice from me there. I like that. Yeah, so anyway, we'll move on to the women's. Here we go. Women's Grand Slam champions. And then we got the Australian Open first, haven't we? Yep. Wonder who we both picked. We've gone for Sabalenka, considering the form.
Yeah, I like to add, with these selections, neither of us copied each other. Ben did send his to me first, so in theory you could say I was copying him, but I already had mine written out on my notes. It just happened to be that we're quite similar on a few of these. I think we've both got the same reason, so I might as well just go with what I think, and that is the fact that Sabalenka, we did talk about in the top 10, has just been so good, obviously on those 15 match unbeaten streak. Obviously, the Australian Open's happening in the coming weeks. We just think she's going to continue that form and going to go all guns blazing, really, and go all the way and win it.
Yeah, I have nothing more to say, really, about that. I'm just move on. I think it's self-explanatory. This one a little bit self-explanatory as well.
Kind
French
of.
Open.
However, I kind of disagree with it. This is one of the ones I was thinking as I was going through. I'm not really sure about it. Potentially, I could change my mind on this one more than most. I would love to say Swiatek can win, and I think the way she played last year, she has all the reason to win it, and I think she's going to be super dangerous. But doing it back to back, I think that's just a big ask for her. I think maybe like you could see like a Halep win it or something like that.
Yeah, you say that, but look what happened with Halep Swiatek in 2021.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, if Swiatek plays that exactly the same style, I don't see anyone beating her. She literally wiped the court with everybody. It was not even a contest with the best players in the world. Even Kenin in the final tried and then just got battered eventually. She just gets beaten down.
I love how you said that. But yeah, it's true. And
Yeah,
that's why it could happen. I'm going to actually be cheering for it. So, like, I'm going to have the Polish flag, mate, throughout. This is going to be my go.
Gary Sky. Oh, no. Recency bias. Yeah, well, unfortunately, you've got to take some of the latest tournaments into consideration when making your pick. Because
It's naive of us, though. I must admit, Mary.
otherwise, Serena Williams wins it all. There you go. That's not recency bias. That's not going to happen. Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
on to the next one. And that is, obviously, Wimbledon.
Wimbledon.
I've gone for Azarenka. Ben didn't even have Azarenka on his top 10. I thought that was a bit bizarre, but he said his reasoning. And for me, I think Azarenka's going to come back and win a Wimbledon. It's a historic tournament, and she's a historic tennis player. And yeah, I'm not going to say it's hard to say, really. Too many reasons in and out of stuff. I'm sure I'll be able to give you a brilliant explanation the weeks leading up to the tournament. But for me, I'm going for Victoria Azarenka to win Wimbledon.
For me, this one was like the toughest one to pick out of all of them, to be honest. Considering we didn't have Wimbledon,
bias is real here.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. We didn't have a Wimbledon last year, so it was tough to really decide. For me, I was torn between two previous winners, and which was Garbina Muguruza. I was thinking could potentially come back and make a run at it, or Simona Halep. So I think Halep, if she's by far probably the best grass court player, I think, out there. And we didn't see any grass court players there was no grass court tournaments last year. I think she's going to be the one that, recently has been the best. So I'm going with her.
And we've got Jackie joining us. You're a bit late, today, Jackie, but thanks for joining us regardless.
Only an hour and 10 minutes late.
Yeah, wind us back and you can watch all our Rublev love as well earlier on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
There, Australian Open Barty, French Open Barty, Wimbledon Barty, US Open Barty. Got to be patriotic. Fair enough.
He wants the Barty party to be kicking off again.
And Shaddai saying, I miss Andreescu. And I don't know if you want to go on to the next one, Ben.
Yeah, mate. There you go.
Open, and Ben actually picked Andreescu to win it. So do you want to go with that?
Yeah, I'm going. Andreescu comes back into the tennis forefront, and we see her recapture her US Open title that she won, was it 2 years ago, I believe now. So, yeah, that's what I personally think. I think she has all of the, we know that what she's capable of. I would love to see that as a final as well. If it was a Saka-Andreescu final, would be ridiculous.
Yeah, that would be a final.
Yeah, but that's my reasoning. That's more going with heart rather than head. And I just want, even though she's number 5 on both our lists for the rankings.
Yeah, but I think you can do that, mate. I had Rafa to win 2 Grand Slams, so why not?
Well, you've got him as number 1, though. And there's one thing that might be a bit controversial from mine is I've got Kenin ending the year as world number 1, but I don't have a win in any Grand Slams next year. Or this year, sorry. Which is
possible, isn't it? If she's reaching finals and winning Masters events and stuff.
Yeah.
On the contrary, though, I'm going for Osaka. She was my world number 1, and I have her win in the US Open. She could do well in the French Open as well. She could
defending.
Be from Iga Swiatek. But yeah, defending the US Open. Obviously won it last year. So yeah, she is my pick, and that rounds up all of our predictions for 2021. Let's see how it unfolds. How right are we going to be? How wrong are we going to be? Yeah, we'll have to find out. But I must admit, I found the top 10 probably slightly easier than the Grand Slam stuff. But
yeah,
even that could be completely up in the air and terribly wrong.
Oh, that
Let's
was
find out how
tiring.
it goes on. Let us know what you think in the comments. Yeah.
What do you think of that? Do you find that was a bit tiring doing that, or are you all right? I found it was a
I
little
think
bit.
your thing's going a bit.
Oops, apologies. Is it? Am I okay?
No, that's better now. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear you a sec. But yeah,
Oh.
it is definitely tiring, mate. That was a long one to do. But I'm glad we got it all out of the way. And I'm actually pretty happy with it on the whole. I think there's a few maybe I could change around, but I'm never going to be perfect.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you want to quickly? I know that obviously we got our new sponsor for the channel, the obviously BetUS sponsoring the channel now. It would be well, we've got to do it. We've got to show what are odds that you could be getting some of these players at for. Let's just have a look, maybe at just the first Grand Slam, which is coming
that
up.
sounds
I
good,
think.
mate.
I
Let's do
don't
that.
think we need to look at them all, but yeah, I'll bring up just the first Grand Slam. We can just take a quick look at see what some of the odds are on that.
Yeah, and while Ben's doing that, I just want to add, for you guys who don't know, we're now sponsored by BetUS. They're a good bookmaker. I think it's easy to get on there. We've put a link in the description. If you go on our link tree, you can claim the bonus code, use Game to Love, and it will enable you 125%. If you go on the website, normally you would see 125%, but with us, you get 125% solely from the sports book. So
Yeah.
the tennis, on other sports as well.
Yeah, you have to.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say you have to sign up with $100 to get 125% your bonus on the sports book as well. It is a special deal that they do. Normally, they don't give it just for sport 125% for just sportsbook betting, but they're doing that especially for us. Just
Yeah,
for
I must admit, with the bonus, it's pretty mad. You don't really get bonuses like that from other bookmakers, so it's certainly worth doing. If you enjoy gambling, if you don't worry about it. But if you do, head down to the description, sign up, make an account, make a deposit, and good luck. You win some money. I feel like if you was to do the initial deposit, especially using the first promotion and stuff, there's a good chance you probably will make money. So why not?
And you don't have to just bet on tennis either. You can bet on any sport you want. So let's just have a look down there. And as you can see, Australian Open, no surprise. Novak Djokovic, he's going to be even money apparently to win that. And this is all on American style odds here at the moment.
Yeah, we're used to more decimal, aren't we? But you can see it's even. So whatever you put on, you get back. Nadal is a second favourite, tied with Thiem at plus 450. You've got Medvedev just a bit outside of that, plus 500. And then you've got the likely sort of players there, Tsitsipas, Zverev, Shapo. So looking at your selection, your winner, you've got obviously Dominic Thiem, plus 450.
Not bad. That means if you put £100 or $100 down, you get $450 back. Which, yeah,
so which is what Ben says. You put $10, it's like me, you'd get 45, which is still a really good deal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's surprising seeing some of the names on there, to be fair. Who was on? There's someone, Nishikori. It's always rated so highly, isn't it? Is Nishikori still the same Nishikori as what we know him as?
Well, I don't think so, to be honest. But he sort of came back a little bit last year. Be nice to see. I mean, Mary Sky saying, "Why is there no number 3?" I believe that's because I think they're numbering. I think they're numbering it by the actual some of the rankings on here, and I think they've just removed Roger Federer by the looks of it from their rankings from what they had on this on their sports book. So, yeah. Do not worry. There's no number 3 on there, but that just means Roger Federer is not on this on their sportsbook on here. So they must have him just listed as number 3 on their sportsbook. So on there, you can see what we've got. We can go over it. It's quite easy to use here. So all you have to do is just go down to
navigation around the website from the homepage, maybe, Ben.
Yeah. So you just literally just go into the homepage and go down to tennis. And then you've got just Australian Open, French Open, US Open. At the moment, obviously, there's no matches playing. So normally there'll be all the other tournaments there. But yeah, as you can see here, and look, they're just showing, at the moment, they're giving Bianca Andreescu for Australian Open. That's a plus 1,200, which is quite good considering her hardcourt form. But if you look there, probably the favorite there is Naomi Osaka at plus 500. And you see the women's completely different. It's like a real open. It's like an open.
Really, still really fancy, didn't they? Plus 800. Maybe I'm not that crazy to have her in the top 10.
I mean, the one that's most crazy there is look.
Someone we not spoke about is Corey Goff. Could she do something spectacular?
Well, look, Kenin is higher odds than Sabalenka there, and considering Kenin was last year's champion, that's pretty crazy for me. So interesting.
I think here the best bet I can see here is actually Sabalenka at 900. Say if you put, I don't know how much you can afford, but argument's sake, you put £20 on it or $20 or wherever you're from. That's 1,000. What's it? No, 1,000. That's $180 or £180, which is pretty good returns. And it's hard to see her losing at the moment.
Oh yeah, exactly. I might even jump on that one as well, mate.
Yeah.
So look, and you've got like obviously like they're going down this list. There, you got like Savontek on plus 5,000. There's part of me that wishes that it was all in odds order, but you can see who the players are
as the tournament comes closer. But you know what they are. You know who you're going to go for. You're not going to be really dictated by the order of it all. Pliskova's there as well, plus 1,500. You've got to be bold to take that one on.
Yeah, exactly. There's some interesting ones in there, though. Obviously, we were talking about Rybakina, Elise Mertens, plus 3,500 there. That's pretty crazy for someone who's that good on hard court to be that lowly ranked in the betting odds. Pretty crazy.
Agreed.
But I think that's enough looking over that. It's just so you guys can see the new sponsor and see how they're helping us out. So if you guys want to jump on, always much appreciated. Just be helping us out as well in the process.
Yeah, like Ben says, it does really help us out. If you do want to head over and join, it helps the channel grow and hopefully helps you earn some money as well.
Yeah,
exactly. Enough on that. Anything left to say, Ben?
No, mate. We've gone on for far too long. I think we should let everybody. Go. I say go to bed, but it might be
everyone is.
Yeah, exactly. It might be afternoon for Almino. Anyway, take it easy, guys, and we'll probably see you at some point next week. We'll bring you another one.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.